Hello, artists, and welcome to the Artist Bootcamp. My name is Trey, and I am your workout partner as we try to get better with art. Now, let's take a look at the schedule. And for today, the 20th of February, we have shapes, heads and hands, mannequin, anatomy, sculpture, gesture, and figure drawing. We have a lot to do, so let's get started. Okay, so we have some shapes. We have shapes. Brackets for increasing the size, lowering the size. Let's rock out. The first one's always the worst one, until I come to the end and make a worse one. But this is our workout of our final week before we move on to a freestyle next week. Hey, we got a lot to do. But so far, I think this has been a success. I can't complain because I'm doing the thing that I thought I should be doing. And that's trying to get better at art, while also, hopefully, helping other people. But you can let me know if this has helped anybody at all. But so far, I enjoy it, because it's helped me get moving. And that is simple shapes. Moving on to 3D shapes. But the best part about this is that every year I do some kind of training program, because after the holidays you get kind of fat and lazy, and I try to get back into shape. I get a little poochy, a little gut that I have to work off. And so every January, February, I start some kind of workout regimen to get just back into the flow of art. Get back into the flow. Wow, that's bad. But again, we're not going for perfection. Our main goal is to make a routine that I can do simply every day. I'm doing this as much for myself as I am trying to help others. Because never stop being a student of the game. Right? It's all a game. This started when I was younger, and I wanted to get better. And to get better, you have to go through it. Okay, focus. You focus too much. That's a lie. I can never focus. And that is 3D shapes. Next up. All right, so before we start heads and hands, we have this skull, which is the template for all heads. Right? This is the underlying structure of every head. So this is Horatio, a model who is looking off to my left, the screen right. Let's knock this back. V40 for 40% opacity. We can make a new layer, and we can draw on top of them. So let's do B with the brush tool. And this is your cranium, the chrome dome. Cranium, cranium, cranium. Right, and this houses your brain. This is your brain on drugs. No, this is just houses your brain. So we have, it comes out a little bit, it comes back in, and that is your brow ridge. Brow ridge. Comes out for your cheek, comes back in, and hooks up to your upper teeth. So again, you can see the side plane. Here's some light coming, right? See that highlight? We can follow that and use that as an indicator of the side plane around your eye, cheekbone, and then coming down into your teeth. Right. That's the side plane. So if light's hitting you here, this will be light, this will be darker. And on the far side, darker still. So you got chin. Attached, this is the mandible, attached to your skull. Mandible attached to your skull proper by some very strong muscles that help you chew. That nom 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 sound. Your spine. Spine. Right, your spine is pretty thick. And this has to support the weight of your head. So you got the side plane, you got the mandible. This is your brow ridge. Wrap it around the space because it's a circular, more circular shape. We have the hairline somewhere up here. We have the eye socket, of course, where your eyes reside. And your eyes are circles. Right. Circular balls that fill this space, and muscles are attached to move your eyes in every which direction. Ratio is looking kind of scary. Your nose, right? This is the nose ridge. This is the cavity. And when you breathe in, nose comes in, right? I mean, nose comes in. Air comes in to your nose. That would be attached by cartilage. And the bottom of the nose and the eye line and your ears are somewhat between those. Everybody's different, but in general, these are general stats. Your mouth would be where your teeth are. Is there anything we're forgetting? I think we know the drill. I think we got this, right? We have this. So let's move on to real heads. Okay, so we have the head profile, right, 3/4 profile, looking to screen right. Let's go. Let's say 40, for 40% opacity. That's not what we want. Undo that. New layer. Brush. And we have my cranium. And then my eyebrow ridge comes in, comes out from my cheekbone and towards the chin. Here's the chin. The mandible is underneath, attached by muscles to the skull proper. We have a side plane around my eyebrow, my eye, and my cheekbone, coming down towards my chin. This one's shallow, but we'll still do that. Coming here. Eye line. Eyebrow ridge line. Hairline. My nose. And the mouth. I'm looking off. So this, I'm looking this way. Between my nose and my eye line is my ear. And that and my eyes are circles within my eye socket. Eye socket. And it's connected with all these muscles that help move my eyes around. And my nose, there's a cavity, my nasal cavity. My cheeks go into my upper teeth. And there's parts of the mandible that is attached to the bottom teeth. This looks freaky. Oh gosh. But so that's my skull / head, and let's move on to the next thing. Now for hands, here we have my alternate hand group, and this is the hand we're going to be doing today. So let's knock this back V4 and do the underlying structure beneath. So B for the brush tool, new layer. There's a square here, see it? So here, 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 here. Right, that's the basis for my finger, my hand. It's a slight side cane. So a side plane, the flat of the palm. Basically. Eraser tool, it's 40%. Because this is just construction lines to make better images. Back to the brush tool. So we're just going to draw this straight. So we've got the thumb. Right. It comes here. There's my fingers, my index, slightly curved. Some of this, the middle finger, slightly curved. My ring finger, more curved. It's much more pronounced. And my pinky finger. And hands are interesting because there's so much movement that is available for all of this. We have my thumb, my greater thumb pad. Obviously have a line, there are creases that bend. They bend in all sorts of ways. My wrist, my forearm, and my arm. Something right there. And that is, let's give an indication for the nails, because it helps to define what we're looking at. What exactly are we looking at? Let's turn it on. All right, that is a hand. All right, so let's move on to the next. All right, now it's time for anatomy and a mannequin. Let's run through this once more from the top. We have the muscles on the skeleton. So we have the trapezius on the shoulder, or the upper shoulder going to the neck. Deltoid is the shoulder. Tricep is on the back of your upper arm. The brachialis is on the side, the outer side of your upper arm, and the bicep in the middle. So we have bicep, brachialis, tricep on the back. Brachioradialis coming from the lower humerus bone down and inside of your forearm. There are also extensors and flexors that help movements of your hand. We have the pectoralis that goes from the clavicle, the sternum, and around and inserts into the humerus. We have the external obliques, the love handles. We have the rectus abdominis, the upper and lower. Right? Upper just about above your belly button, the lower is below that. We have the gracilis, which is the inside of your thigh, and under that is the adductor longus underneath. We have the sartorius, which comes out from your hip, outer hip, and inside towards the inside of your thigh. We have the rectus femoris, which is a large muscle on the middle of your thigh. The vastus lateralis is on the outer side of your thigh. We have the patella, which is your kneecap, and from that, coming downwards, is the patellar tendon going towards your ankle. So from your kneecap down to your ankle. Gastrocnemius is the calf muscle, best seen on the inside of your calf or lower leg. Anterior tibialis is right next to your patella tendon on the outer side of your lower leg. On the very outside is the fibularis longus, also called the peroneus, on the outside of your lower leg. And between the fibularis longus, peroneus, and the anterior tibialis is the extensor digitorum longus, the lower leg between the two, towards your ankle. Now let's go to the mannequin, as we have our mannequin here. And so let's draw on top of this and make a new layer. We're going to do simple shapes first. Simple shapes. So let's make this a dark blue. Simple shapes. Of course, we've done this before. So we've got the circle that makes up your cranium. And from that, we can extend that downwards to make the overall oval shape of your head. Now your nose line is about here. But first, let's make the eye line, which is the middle. The eyebrow ridge, just above that. Let's make these defined lines. There we go. We have the hairline, the nose line. Between the nose and the chin is the mouth line. The ear is between your eyes and the bottom of your nose. And that is approximately where your ears are. You have a neck. Right, the spine is towards the back. That would be there. Now, box forms for the rib cage. All right, you see the top plane, and we can make an indication of the body position. The hips are next. There's a slight, maybe this is my imagination, slight tilt. There are hips. There's a slight side planage. His hips appear to be facing towards his right. Okay, so now we do simple shapes for the joints. So we've got shoulders, elbows, wrist, kneecap, ankle. And now we do cylinders for his limbs. It's all based off simple shapes. A thigh, and the lower leg. He has feet. And hands. Just doing simple, very simple shapes. Okay, and the spine would be about here. And that is a simple box form for this mannequin. So let's make invisible. Let's make a new layer, and now we're going to do the muscles. So let's make this black and back. Got the brush tool, yes. So trapezius, upper shoulder. We have the deltoid for your shoulder. The pectoralis is bordering the clavicle, your sternum, along your rib cage and up and inserting into your upper humerus. For your arm, you have the tricep on the back, brachialis, and then so back to front is the tricep, brachialis, bicep. And front to back is the bicep, brachialis, tricep. We have the brachioradialis. Comes out and goes in towards the inside of your arm. We have flexors and extenders, bundles of muscles that help move your wrist, hands, and finger. We have the rectus abdominis. That's belly button, upper and lower. This part. And we have the external obliques. The inside of the thigh, we have the gracilis, the adductor longus, and the sartorius, coming from the outside hip, coming inside, attaching around the knee. We have the patella, which is the bone, your kneecap, and the patellar tendon, coming down from that to your ankle. the gastrocnemius, the calf muscle, seen on the inside of the lower leg. Now, right next to the patellar tendon is the anterior tibialis. And on the outside of the calf, or lower leg, is the fibularis longus, also known as the peroneus. And between the fibularis longus and the anterior tibialis is this extensor digitorum longus. And those are the muscles. Oh wait, rectus femoris and vastus lateralis. How could I forget? And that is the leg. Those are the simplified muscles. Now let's move to statuary. Thank you, Mannequin, thank you. Now today, we're going to be doing this statue of what I believe is Hercules. An ancient statue, and I think it's Hercules because of the club and the lion skin, because he defeated the Nemean lion? I'm not exactly sure what the name is. Because this lion had, I think, invincible skin. And after he killed it, he took the skin and he wears it sometimes so that he is also then invulnerable to harm. I think it's like stabbing weapons. Can't actually hurt him. But let's draw him, shall we? Again, new layer. I'm gonna go for a green. And we're gonna do simple shapes first. So brush. We have the cranium. And then that extends down to his chin. We have his eye line. We have a side plane. We have his eyebrow ridge. We have his nose line. We have his mouth line. And in between the nose and the eyes are his ears. He has a neck. And here we can see that box for his rib cage. He is broad of shoulder. There is some slight hip tilt. And here. Now let's do simple shapes for the joints. I think it's around here. Here. So we got the shoulders, the elbows, the wrist, knees, and ankles. And then we do simple cylinders for his limbs. He has a spine. So it's all simple shapes. His lower leg, or his lower legs, and his feet. All right, and of course he has hands. The other hand is holding his club. And that is the basic shapes for Hercules. Now let's turn that off, make a new layer, and now we're going to do the muscles. Muscles. So we have this is divided. the trapezius. Right. Has his deltoid. His pectoralis along the clavicle, sternum, and into upper humerus. So we got this and this. We have the from front to back along the upper arm. We have the bicep. We have the brachialis right behind that. And then on the back side, we have the triceps. I almost said trapezius. Oh, okay. Let's keep it moving. We have the brachioradialis. Here, coming inside. That's also there. We have extensors and flexors to help control the hand and fingers. We have the rectus abdominis. This is well defined. Belly button. This is the upper, and then the lower. External obliques. Look at those love handles. Latissimus dorsi. From his hips. Right. We have the inside of the thigh. We have the gracilis. It kind of makes a little gracilis. And then under that, adductor longus. That, and then from the hip, coming from the outside of the hip, inside, and coming into the knee, the lower thigh knee area. We have the rectus femoris, sartorius, this other leg, sartorius. Rectus femoris. On the outside of the thigh, vastus lateralis. We have the patella, and the patellar tendon coming down from the patella towards the ankle. On the inside of your lower leg is your calf or gastrocnemius. Now, right next to the patellar tendon is the anterior tibialis. And on that very outside of the lower leg is your fibularis longus, also known as the peroneus. Between the fibularis and the anterior tibialis, here is the extensor digitorum longus. And those are the muscles of Mr. Hercules. All right. And now, let's go on to figure drawing. Okay, so now we're doing our figure drawing for the week. So for this Tuesday, to see what we did yesterday, because we did this one yesterday, and this one yesterday, and this one. And we shall continue onwards and upwards. So of course, we go to the internet. The internet. And today we're doing the lineofaction.com. But for some other ones, there's quick poses and Sketch Daily. And Sketch Daily was one of the sites we used yesterday. Here we have our line of action. So let's get into it. Only covered models, all genders. It's adults, all at the same length, and we'll do 2 minutes because we're going to pause these because we only want 3. A little bit every day, and this is for educational purposes. So let's get to drawing. So let's pause this. All right, look at this. All right, this is the figure. This is the next pose. Figure. This is, I would say, the overarching, right, line of the body. But he also has this. So let's not talk about it. Let's do it. So slide that over to the side. We have our muscles on this side. And let's make a new layer. I should probably name these, but this is just extrication. So, dark. I would say the line of action is like this. Right. There's another line going this way. But let's take it from the top. Just an indicator of where we're at. We're about the shoulders, hips, about like that. There's that. You can see sort of the side plane. So if we're doing hips, I'd say it's like this. All right, we're doing simple shapes first, because we can always build on simple shapes. So his head, if you can see it, we can see the top of his head. So if the cranium is something like that, his head down, and you can see the side plane, right? The light is hitting this side plane. Side plane coming down. What else? We have his knees. This is dominant leg and his non-dominant leg. Ankle and ankle. So cylinders, of course, because it's got legs. And his muscles are well defined. This leg is going back in space. The heel is off the ground. Heel is off. This is planted. Feet. His arms are well, his arms down, but his hands are up. Because this is boxing. You gotta keep your hands up. And he's got gloves on. So I would say it's like this. And do whatever you can do. If you just want to do the gesture, the simple gesture, that's fine. If you want to do the simple shapes of this gesture, that's fine. If you want to do all of that and some muscles, also good. But we're building up. We are building up. None of this comes just from looking at it. We got to go through it. Like we can see the gracilis, the rectus femoris, gracilis, adductor longus, underneath, from the hip across, down, to sartorius. Right? And the more we do this, the easier it gets and the more comfortable we are with what we're seeing. It's all about learning to see. Drawing is one thing, we got to learn to see. I'm starting to sound like my teachers. My goodness, what's happening to me? So, vastus lateralis on the side. For the head, we didn't really define this. Eye line, his nose line, his mouth line. And it wraps in space. So it wraps around the body. So we have his what do you call it? Above the eyes. Ears are about the eye line and the nose line. We can't quite see his neck, but it's something like this. All right, see through the form. Trapezius. We got that. All right, we can see that deltoid definition. We got that tricep definition. All right. And what you could do if you're in a program like Photoshop or is it Krita? And there's other programs that do drawing. You can fade this back and then draw muscles on top in a different color. Say the box form on one has a certain color. You can do the skeleton on another layer as another color. You can do the box form, another color, separate layer. And you can just build up if you wanted an intimate knowledge of what we're looking at. The rectus abdominis. Right? And you can see that curve in his rectus abdominis. Look at that. This is why people who are fit, you can see the muscle definitions in they help to indicate what the form is doing pretty well. Right. We got the brachioradialis coming up, and we got all these muscles. What else? We got the patellar, patellar tendon coming down, patellar tendon coming down, anterior tibialis. On the outside, next to that, we have the fibularis longus, also outside, next to that. And the extensor digitorum longus, near the bottom, at the bottom of the head. Be here. We're just trying to see things. You can see it pretty strongly here. The kneecap and the tendon, right? coming down. Gastrocnemius, calf muscle, gastrocnemius. It's all learning. We're starting to get it. It's starting to click. Well, for me. Hopefully this is helping you, but it's starting to click for me. We're all students of the game, and I forget. So this is great study for myself. Right, outside fibularis longus. Coming in. You can kind of see the plane. This is in space, right? So that perspective. Right, you can see the lines. As he stands in space. All right, let's look at another one. Oh. Whoa. That's nice posing. That's. I like it. Let's draw it. New layer. Okay. So this lady is well built. And so, what do we say? Right? You can be more straight here if your limbs are interesting. So she's more up and down, or more of her body's like this. But she can offset that with her shoulders and her hips are here. We'll say, right? This is her side plane. Right. So, let's do the egg shape. And sometimes it's cool to exaggerate even the pose. Like this. And this. And her head. Down this way. Cranium. Her neck. Got the clavicle. Trapezius. Deltoid. Let's break it down. Simple shapes. Come on, try. Sometimes you want to jump ahead of line. It's like, come on, focus. Her knees, ankle, knee, ankle. Right. Okay. cylinders, cylinders. We're just getting the gist of it. Cylinders. And that is the gesture, more or less. Rib cage. Okay. We have the bicep, tricep. Right. We have the, what is this, brachialis? Bicep, brachialis, tricep. We have the brachioradialis coming like this. See that? So we've got all these muscles. Extensors, flexors. Deltoids. Trapezius. Tricep. Into the elbow. So let's draw that side plane I was talking about. Looks more like. You can see. Cut. External obliques. But she doesn't have Lebanka handles. She is cut. The hamstring. We got the kneecap. To the patellar tendon. Gastrocnemius is the calf. We have the anterior tibialis. But it all comes together. Her eye line. Right. She's got the side plane. As you can see with the light. Her eyes wrapped in space. Her nose. Her mouth. Her ear. Right, the nose line. And that eye line. So she has two lights on her, I believe. Here's light, a stronger light, and then there's a softer light. Right, that is hitting her from this side. And over. Interesting, interesting, interesting. It's got hair, but that doesn't quite matter at this time. Shall we do one more? One more? Let's take a look. What do we got? What else we got? Ooh. Boxer guy. Okay, what do we see? What do we see? Both feet are planted. He's ready for action. He can go left, right, as both feet are planted. Let's see if we can get that. All of this. Okay. Let's go this. This. For body, it's I'm just going as I see fit. All right, this is the last one of the day, so I'm just. And I usually make my lines light and loose. I'm not trying to commit to any line really. I'm just going. And we're making it up as we go. I like to do straights for this. See that? And only the gastrocnemius comes out, the calf. So it's not like one shape. The human form is incredibly interesting. These gloves. Right. That's the basic shape. Now I can adjust it. That head comes down, maybe exaggerate. If I wanted to exaggerate it. to help it sometimes read. But that's, if you want to be dramatic. Or sometimes just a shorthand helps people that aren't looking at what you're looking at read it. And since this is the focus to me, you exaggerate that. Let's do lasso tool. Lasso tool. What the heck was that? Command T, transform. To me, it looks like his head's down. And Command D to deselect. Back to the brush tool. And let's do the simple. All right, we got the deltoid. Circle for the elbow. Circle for the wrists. Circle for the knees. We got the pelvis, which is slightly tilted forward because he's bent. You can see the side plane. Right. Side plane. Let's see. What else? Of course, his rib cage. But because he is, like I said, a guy who works on the body, let's make that a boxy shape. Going to right. We have the bicep, the tricep, right on the back. The brachioradialis. See that? Brachioradialis. Bicep, tricep over here. The brachialis is between, set up in the tricep. Yeah. Deltoid, trapezius. He has a neck, of course. Can't quite see his pecs, but they're under this arm. Of course. Latissimus dorsi. We have the rectus abdominis. Cut in. That. What else? I'm starting to focus more on it than this video. So hopefully you're getting something out of this as we'll work through it. Okay. Gracilis. We got the adductor longus underneath that. The sartorius coming across. So from the hip coming across. Rectus femoris. Right. Rectus femoris. Here. Hamstring. Vastus lateralis. Side. Got the kneecap with the patellar tendon. We can see here. Gastrocnemius, the calf muscle, comes out, goes back. And ankle, feet. And fibularis longus on the outside. While the anterior tibialis is on the end, closer to the patellar tendon. Extensor digitorum longus. Okay, gastrocnemius. Into this towards the calf. The patellar tendon on this leg is coming down. Got the ankle, the foot. And again, the foot is almost like in three parts. There's the heel part, there's this part, and then there's the toes. So this part looks more like the wedge. The toes coming off. That's where you see mostly the toes. There is and that is the figure. We did some good stuff today. I lost my words, but we got some interesting drawings. I like that one. The rectus abdominis lower. Now let's do the head palazzo. I never end these things when I should. So, the side plane. Where you can go, there's part of the hairline. Right? Then the side plane around the eye, the cheeks coming towards. the eye line. We have your eyebrow ridge. It comes down, then goes in. The nose. And I'm following mostly this shape, right? But his jaw, and it has the hair coming out, obscuring the jaw, but we can feel it. So sometimes when things are obscured, we go for more of what it feels like. And his ear is at the eye line, nose line. And the mandible, like right after the mandible. And that is our boxer guy. So, once again, let's do this outro. We did it. I believe we did 3, right? So yeah. Nicely done, nicely done. Let's take a look at the schedule. Okay, so today is the 20th. Woohoo! Today we did shapes, heads and hands, mannequin, anatomy, sculpture, gesture, and the figure drawing. Tomorrow we will do the same and add 2-point perspective before finishing the week out with our standard set that we're doing for the week. Good times. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.